war ended, but a secret race had already begun. While the world celebrated victory in 1945, intelligence officers were quietly hunting something far more valuable than territory. They were searching for minds, brilliant scientists, engineers, rocket designers. Many of them had worked for Nazi Germany, and instead of being imprisoned, many were offered something unexpected: a new life in the United States, new identities, new careers, and a mission to help build the future. This was Operation Paperclip, one of the most controversial intelligence programs in modern history. When World War II ended, Europe was devastated. Cities were destroyed, millions were dead, nations were rebuilding. But American military leaders quickly realized something important. Germany had developed advanced scientific technology far ahead of the rest of the world: rockets capable of traveling long distances, jet aircraft, advanced chemical research, medical studies, experimental engineering concepts that seemed almost futuristic. As Allied forces moved into Germany, they discovered laboratories hidden underground, research centers disguised as factories, secret facilities filled with prototypes and blueprints. Intelligence officers were stunned. Germany had been working on technologies that could change warfare forever. Then another concern emerged: the Soviet Union. Even though the United States and the Soviet Union had fought on the same side during the war, tensions were already rising. Both countries understood that whoever controlled advanced scientific knowledge would control the future. This wasn't just about rebuilding after the war. It was about global power. American officials feared that if Soviet forces captured German scientists, the balance of power could shift dramatically. These scientists understood rocket propulsion, aeronautics, and advanced engineering. Losing that knowledge to a rival nation was considered extremely dangerous. So the United States made a decision. Instead of treating all German scientists as enemies, they would recruit them, bring them to America, and use their knowledge to strengthen American technology. This plan became Operation Paperclip. At first, the program had a different name: Operation Overcast. It began quietly in 1945. The initial goal was to capture German scientists and interview them. But officials quickly realized these scientists could do more than just share information. They could actively help develop American technology. Lists were created. Intelligence teams searched for key individuals across Germany. Some scientists surrendered voluntarily. Others were located hiding in remote areas. Many knew the Soviet army was advancing quickly. For them, surrendering to American forces seemed like the safer choice. One of the most important discoveries during this search was the Osenberg list. Near the end of the war, Germany had begun recalling scientists from combat duty. Engineers, mathematicians, and physicists were brought back to laboratories. The German government hoped advanced research might still change the outcome of the war. Werner Osenberg created a list of these scientists. It included names, specialties, and locations. In 1945, parts of the list were discovered and eventually reached American intelligence. It became a roadmap to Germany's top scientific minds. One name stood out immediately: Wernher von Braun, a rocket scientist who had led Germany's V-2 missile program. The V-2 rocket was revolutionary. It traveled faster than the speed of sound. It was nearly impossible to intercept, and it represented the future of missile technology. Von Braun and his team worked at a secret research center in Peenemünde. There, they developed rockets later used to attack cities like London and Antwerp. Thousands of civilians died in these attacks. The technology was groundbreaking, but it came at a terrible cost. Production later moved underground to Mittelwerk. Workers from nearby concentration camps were forced into slave labor. Conditions were brutal. Thousands died building rockets. This would later become one of the biggest controversies surrounding Operation Paperclip. As Germany collapsed in 1945, von Braun and many of his colleagues decided to surrender to American forces. More than 1,000 scientists moved toward American-controlled territory. They understood their future depended on which side captured them. American forces quickly secured them. The scientists were initially housed in temporary camps. They were interviewed and studied. Intelligence officers wanted to understand their knowledge. Some scientists remained in Germany for months before being transported to the United States. Eventually, more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians were brought to America. Many arrived with their families. They were given housing, salaries, and work assignments. But there was a problem. President Harry Truman had issued a rule. Individuals connected to Nazi organizations were not supposed to be recruited. However, many of the most valuable scientists had Nazi affiliations. Some were even members of the SS. To solve this, officials modified records. Political histories were minimized. Sensitive information was sometimes removed. Paperclips were attached to certain files that required special handling. That practice eventually gave the operation its name, Operation Paperclip. By late 1945, the first scientists arrived in the United States. Many were sent to Fort Bliss, Texas. Others went to White Sands Proving Ground in New Mexico. There, they began working with captured German rockets. American and German engineers collaborated. Together, they launched modified V-2 rockets. These tests helped researchers understand high-altitude flight. Some rockets carried fruit flies to study radiation. Others carried cameras that captured the first images of Earth from space. These experiments were groundbreaking. Humanity was seeing Earth from above the atmosphere for the first time. As Cold War tensions grew, the importance of these scientists increased. The United States wanted long-range missile technology. German engineers helped accelerate development. In 1950, many scientists moved to Huntsville, Alabama. Redstone Arsenal became a major rocket development center. Von Braun and his team designed new missile systems. These systems eventually evolved into space launch vehicles. In 1958, NASA was created. Many Operation Paperclip scientists joined the agency. Their experience became essential. They helped design the Saturn rocket family. The Apollo program aimed to land humans on the moon. It became one of the most ambitious engineering projects in history. Former German scientists worked alongside American engineers. Together, they developed propulsion systems, launch vehicles, and navigation technology. In 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the moon. The Saturn V rocket made it possible. Many historians believe Operation Paperclip significantly accelerated this achievement. Despite these successes, controversy never disappeared. Critics argued that recruiting former Nazi scientists raised serious ethical questions. Some had worked in facilities that used forced labor. Others had controversial wartime roles. Investigations were conducted. Some scientists faced public criticism. One eventually gave up his U.S. citizenship and returned to Germany. Others continued their careers and received honors. Several Operation Paperclip scientists received major awards. Some were honored by NASA. Others were recognized for contributions to aeronautics and space exploration. Operation Paperclip also influenced fields beyond rocketry. German scientists contributed to aviation, chemistry, medicine, and engineering. Jet aircraft research improved commercial aviation. Synthetic fuel research influenced industrial development. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union conducted a similar program. They relocated German scientists to the USSR. This intensified the Cold War technology race. The competition expanded into space. Satellites, rockets, moon missions, each success represented national prestige. Operation Paperclip played a major role in shaping this competition. The knowledge gained helped accelerate American technological advancement. Over time, documents were declassified. Historians studied the operation. Ethical debates continue today. Was the technological progress worth the moral compromise? Did the program prevent future conflict? Or did it allow individuals connected to war crimes to escape accountability? These questions remain open. Operation Paperclip represents a complex moment in history. Fear, ambition, and opportunity collided. The operation influenced the Cold War. It helped shape modern technology, and it played a role in humanity's journey to the moon. From secret laboratories in wartime Germany, to rocket launches in the American desert, to footsteps on the moon, the impact of Operation Paperclip continues to shape history. Some of the most important decisions in history are made quietly, away from headlines, away from public view. Operation Paperclip was one of those moments. And it reminds us that sometimes the future isn't built on battlefields, but in laboratories, research centers, and secret agreements that shape the world for generations. If this story caught your attention, there are many more hidden chapters of history waiting to be explored. Some of the biggest turning points in the world happened in silence, and understanding them helps us better understand how the modern world came to be.